Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing swatches with you from a brand that is completely new to me, but not new to the indie world. It's just my first time trying them. This is Lilypad Lacquer. I was sent 8 polishes for review. I wasn't paid for it. It's not an affiliate video or anything like that. It's just I was sent these for my honest review. I was sent 8 polishes. I'm not sure if they're part of a collection or anything of that sort, but I have them. In the description box below, I will link Lilypad Lacquer's Instagram page as well as their shop. I will also link my Instagram page where you can see more swatches from these polishes. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first polish I have for you today is called Sacred. And this is kind of like a champagne-y off-white, beige-ish. It is a holographic polish and it has kind of like a green shimmer to it. These are mini bottles. I am not sure, again, a whole lot about Lilypad Lacquer in general to know if this is their standard bottle size or if I just received minis, but it is 7 milliliters, which is about half of a normal standard size bottle. These miniature bottles do have short, flat brushes and short stems, which makes application very, very easy. I actually had a really pleasant time applying these polishes because these brushes were very, very easy to use. So here's our first coat of Sacred. This is obviously very sheer on this first coat. Please also excuse my disgusting cuticles. At this point I had not taken any oil to them and I just finished another swatching, so they look pretty rough right now. But here's the second coat of Sacred, and this is still very sheer on the second coat. I can still see my nail line. For these soft, delicate colors like this, I actually don't mind being able to see my nail line, so I personally would stop here at 2 coats, but here is the third coat of Sacred, and this does cover completely in 3 coats. It does have a really nice formula, and it dries down a little bit dull, so you will want a glossy top coat that'll also help bring out all that shimmer. So there's 3 coats. The next polish is called Love Affair, and this is somewhere in between a brick red and a burnt orange, and it is a linear holographic polish. So here's our first coat of Love Affair. This one covers really nicely and really evenly here on this first coat. This also has a really nice, fantastic formula, so easy to use. It stays where you put it. For, I'm going to say, all of these polishes, I had no issues with running, pulling, anything of that sort. So here's the second coat of Love Affair, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats for me. This also dries much more hollow than it applies, so to get that full holographic effect, you will just want to wait a few seconds after applying. So there's 2 coats. Next up we have Wild Thing, and this is a dark, deep berry polish, and it has a scattered holographic effect to it. I feel like it might also have teeny tiny little black flakies in it, or flakies of some sort is what I was picking up on my nail wheel, but I couldn't pick them up as easily on my nail, so it could just be me making things up in my head, or they could be in there. I'm not entirely sure. So here's our first coat of Wild Thing. And I said I was getting them on my swatch wheel and not my nail, those little flakies or specks or whatever they are. I said it the other way around. I was getting it on my nail, but not on my swatch wheel. So this has a pretty nice formula as well. It doesn't cover as evenly, but it does cover pretty decently. So here is the second coat. And this one does cover well enough for me on 2 coats. It might just be a little bit streaky for your liking. So a third coat is going to deepen it a lot. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Enigma, and it is kind of like another berry color. It is definitely more of a purple, and it doesn't have, it's got like a linear holographic effect to it, but it's not as strong as, say, Love Affair was, that red linear holographic. And it seems to also have maybe a purple flash of a shimmer in it as well. So here's our first coat of Enigma. This has that same formula as the last polish did. It is very sheer here on this first coat. It is nice and easy to work with though, stays where you put it. This one's also going to dry down a little bit dull. And none of these were particularly difficult to remove or anything. So here's the second coat, and it is still a little bit sheer and a little bit patchy here on 2 coats, so I am going to go in for a third coat. You do get a lot of that shimmer on your nail though. It stands out really, really nicely against the dark base. So here's the third coat, and this one covers completely in 3. Again, fantastic formula, no complaints. So there's 3 coats. Next up we have Monsoon, and this is a cobalt blue polish with a purple shimmer running throughout it. Unlike most of the other ones in this package that I received, I don't believe this is holographic. It might have a touch of a scattering holo. Obviously I didn't receive any kind of like polish descriptions to let you know exactly what's in these, but that is kind of what I'm picking up from it. So here's our first coat of Monsoon, and of all of the polishes that I received today, this one has the most opacity. It's definitely not a 1-coater, and it is a little bit patchy here, but if you did a thick enough coat, you may end up getting away with 1 coat with no issue. It has such a nice formula, so easy to use. So here is the second coat. This one does cover completely in 2 coats for me. I only wore this for a short period of time, and I had a very, very, very little bit staining, but I don't use a base coat when I swatch. So there's 2 coats. Next up we have Timeless, and this is a light lavender polish. It does have a linear holographic effect to it, and it might have like a green shimmery flash to it as well. So here's our first coat of Timeless, and this is very sheer on this first coat here, but it does have a really nice formula. Again, super easy to use. So here's the second coat, and I'm going to stop here at 2 coats. I think it looks really nice and really dainty. You can do 3 coats to deepen the color. This one also dries more hollow than it applies, so there is 2 coats. Up next we have Blossom, and this is a little bit deeper than the previous polish. It is more of a lilac purple as opposed to that lighter purple that you saw earlier. It might have a scattering holographic effect to it as well that you can get on those extreme angles there on the side of the bottle. And it looks like it also has a lighter purple shimmer running throughout it as well. So here's our first coat of Blossom. This is another one that I am going to do 2 coats on because I feel like it looks the best on 2 coats, but to deepen the color and maybe a little bit more coverage, which I don't think is necessary, you may end up needing a 3rd coat. So here's a second coat. This one also dries down very dull. All of them kind of do until you add a top coat except for, I believe, Love Affair. But again, really great formula. So there's 2 coats. And the last polish is called Master of Disguise, and this one is actually very, very unique. It looks brown, but it is definitely purple-er with maybe a hint of brown, and also grayed out just a little bit. Very original, very unique in my collection. It seems to have a gold shimmer to it, and it definitely also has a linear holographic effect to it as well. So very beautiful, very original. It's not often that I see things that I've never seen before, but I have never seen anything like this one before. And here's our first coat of Master of Disguise. This one has a great formula, pretty good coverage here on this first coat. It is going to need a 2nd coat, but by no means will it need a 3rd coat. You get a lot of this shimmer on your nails. It's really, really great against, again, that dark base. So here's the 2nd coat, and this one does cover completely in 2 coats. This one will dry more hollow than it applies, and it does dry a little bit dull, so a glossy top coat. So there's 2 coats. So of these 8 polishes, I think Love Affair is my favorite. It's this beautiful, deep, dark red. It's like a bricky red. Holographic, linear hollow. It's just beautiful formula, beautiful application, just gorgeous all the way around, and it is super holographic on the nails. I didn't struggle with photographs or anything of that sort, which is kind of like a huge feat for me. Like, I'm really bad at taking holographic photos. So the fact that this one photographs so easy for me is just a huge thumbs up in my opinion. And that is it. Let me know what you guys thought of these polishes. Let me know what your favorite was. Let me know if you've tried Lilypad Lacquer and what you guys think of them. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I'll talk to you again next time. Bye!